Let's talk sprint and Halo. I know, everyone's favorite topic. But before you rage below about how I'm some old boomer, I'm not here to tell you whether sprint is good or bad. Today, we have a different discussion. What I want to talk about is how they have added sprint into the Halo Campaign Evolved remake. In this game, along with other changes to the OG game, they have added sprint, and unsurprisingly, some older school fans are upset by that, and to combat that, Halo Studios has added a toggle to be able to turn off sprint. Player choice, right? The evolution of just don't sprint if you don't want to. Here's the thing though, I'm not going to tell you whether sprint in CE is good or bad. I'll let you make that decision on your own, but I want to talk about Halo Studios implementing a toggle. This isn't a solution. Actually, it's about one of the worst ways they could tackle it. Sprint is a very core mechanic when you put it in a first-person shooter. It completely changes the way the game plays. Everything from the pacing to how you engage in different encounters, to even stuff like whether or not you can make certain jumps. So do you kind of see how just having a toggle to turn that off might not be a real solution? You end up with one of two scenarios. Scenario one, probably the better of the two, is that Campaign Evolved has been revamped to account for sprint. Encounters are maybe a little bit bigger, levels are a little bit widened, and various jumps are probably a little bit longer to account for the player needing to sprint to get over them. But now, if you toggle sprint off, the whole game just doesn't play as the developers would want it to, right? And then you have option 2. This is where Halo Studios made no changes. Campaign Evolved actually is just the same scale as Combat Evolved, and therefore adding in sprint completely throws off all of the pacing from the original game, and is now in there just really awkwardly. Neither of these are great scenarios. Yes, this is a campaign-only game. Play it as you want, but the developers should be confident in the core mechanics they're putting in a game. If they believe a game should have sprint, then it should have sprint. And if they believe a game shouldn't have sprint, then it shouldn't have sprint. There shouldn't be a toggle for the player to play either way, because now you have those scenarios where some players are going to play a weird subpar version of the game because they turned off sprint, or maybe they didn't change much and sprint's going to be in there pretty awkwardly. This solution to add in a toggle is just a cop-out to try and avoid criticism, and it's actually something that Halo Studios 343 has done throughout their entire history, and I'm not just talking about sprint.